I want to go over and discuss the WNBA for a second, and we are in the second round of the semifinals of the playoffs. You have the Vegas Aces going against the Dallas Wings. You also have the New York Liberty. I'm sorry, going against the Connecticut Sun. To me, again, and I don't want to sound like a casual. I don't want to sound like something that everyone else speaks about. But to me, there's two clear cut teams, man. That is the Vegas, and I've talked about this before. That is the Vegas Aces, and that is the New York Liberty. Those two are the clear cut best teams in the WNBA. We'll talk. They are starting to hand out the awards for this year, and we'll talk about that in a second. But there's not many weaknesses for both teams. Now, both teams can lose, as we've seen, obviously, this year. But when both teams are dialed in and both teams are playing, when you have Aja Wilson playing as good as she plays, she is arguably, if not the best player in basketball. I think she is the best player in basketball when she's playing, when she's dialed in. Kelsey Plum, she is a fire starter. I mean, if she can catch fire, it's over with. Then you also have Chelsea Gray. We know the historic run that she did last year. They have the sixth player of the year in Alicia Clark. And this is all with Candace Parker not being there. You also have Jackie Young. They have so much talent on the Vegas Aces. Same thing for the New York Liberty. You have Breanna Stewart, who I think had the most 40-point games in WNBA history this year. You have Jonquel Jones, who is easily forgotten when we talk about the pantheon of players in the WNBA, but Jonquel Jones is also a former MVP. You have Sabrina Nadescu, who is one of the best, if not the best, young emerging stars in the WNBA. You have Courtney Vandersloot, who's one of the best point guards in the WNBA. There is so much talent. And don't get me wrong, man. I'm not trying to disrespect the Wings. I didn't think they were gonna get here. They obviously beat Atlanta Dream. And this team is good. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not here to disrespect this team. And I'm also not here to disrespect the Connecticut Sun. We know they're the third best, or they're ranked third. They're the third best team, at least in the WNBA right now. You have Alyssa Thomas, who made all NBA or all WNBA first team defense. DeWanna Bonner, we know how good this team is. This team was just in the WNBA finals a year ago. But I'm not really. To me, it's not. It's more disrespectful to not highlight and not be honest about what we're seeing. To me, there's two clear-cut best teams. I don't think it doesn't matter how good the Wings play. In my opinion, I don't think they have a shot. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I will definitely come up here and say I'm wrong. I don't think they have a shot in beating the Vegas Aces. I think they could win a game. But I don't think they have a shot in winning the series, unless somebody goes down. But even in that, but depending on who goes down, which I don't wish for anyone to go down. But I just don't see a path where the Dallas Wings, even though they have the most improved player, again we'll talk about that in a second. I just don't see a chance, or I don't see an avenue for them winning. I am very interested about this New York Connecticut Sun series. I think when everyone is playing, first of all, let's have a moment of silence for my Mystics. Natasha Cloud, she had a career high 33 point, or playoff career high, I think 33 points. But they went out. They went out in 2 games against the New York Liberty. It's tough. Moment of silence over. I'm interested to see, because of how good this Connecticut Suns team can be defensively, especially being led, obviously, on the defensive side of the ball with Alyssa Thomas. But I just don't know if they can keep up with the firepower and honestly the defensive output that the New York Liberty can bring too with Jonquel Jones and with Breonna Stewart. It's going to be tough. I think that obviously it's a 2-3 matchup, but I think that matchup is a lot closer than the Vegas Aces and Dallas Wings. And like I said to start these playoffs, I think that we are barreling down to a Vegas Aces, New York Liberty in WNBA Finals. So that's who I obviously have coming out of or going into the finals. I have the Aces beating the Wings, and I have the Liberty beating the Sun. So I am interested to see. I mean, it has been really good basketball. Shouts out to all the people that obviously didn't win, but I just think we see the two best players and two best teams in the WNBA, and it looks like they're on a collision course to see each other. So we'll see. If I'm wrong, we'll talk about it. So also wanted to give a shout out to, like I said, they're handing out the WNBA awards. Not all of them has been announced, obviously, but they handed out the sixth player of the year, which for people that don't know what that is, that's the sixth man of the year for the NBA. For the WNBA, it's the sixth player of the year, and that went to Alicia Clark. Shouts out to her. She used to be a Washington Mystic. She is a two-time WNBA champion, I believe, and she is a very vital part of the Vegas Aces. Even though when you look at her numbers, it doesn't look like it. Like her numbers look pedestrian, but when you see just the impact, it's kind of like, was it Darica Hamby? Like when she may not have had the eye-popping numbers, but when you look at just how important she was for that Aces team, that's the same way that's the same impact that Alicia Clark has. And again, I don't think people understand how big of a loss Candace Parker, even at this point of her career, losing Candace Parker is huge. And having Clark come in and have to play more minutes and be more impactful with Candace Parker not being there is one of the biggest reasons why I think she won the sixth player of the year. So shouts out to her. Shouts out to Satu Sabali. She, of course, Dallas Wings. She won the most improved. Listen to this. She is improved in every way this year, and that is just a testament to how good she is. Last year, she averaged 11 points a game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal, pretty much. This year, she averaged pretty much 19 points a game, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. She has been incredible, and it's been so interesting and exciting to see just her growth because, again, she's been a consistent 11. Her first year, she averaged 14 points. Second year, she averaged 12. Last year, she averaged 11, I'm sorry. And this year, she averaged 19 points. She's been incredible, and she is one of the biggest reasons why the Wings are even in this position to try to compete for a WNBA championship. She has been great, and to me, even though she didn't get it unanimously, I think that she is the clear-cut, or she was and should have been the clear-cut most improved player, and I'm glad that she did win it. So shouts out to Satu Sabali for winning most improved. And Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson, she went back-to-back, at least she went back-to-back and won the Defensive Player of the Year. This is the second year in a row. I think she was first in rebounds, first in blocks, or something like that. I said on this podcast that she is the best player in the WNBA. I understand. I got some flack because people are talking about, what about Breonna Stewart? Yes, I do think Breonna Stewart is as great as people project. I do think that she is incredible. I do think that you can argue that she is the best player in the WNBA. Again, you can argue that. And at at worst. To me, she's the second best player, Breonna Stewart. And the thing that separates her from A'ja Wilson is the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, Breonna Stewart is probably a tad bit better than A'ja Wilson offensively. But defensively, I think A'ja Wilson kind of has Breonna Stewart by a landslide. And this is not me crapping on Breonna Stewart. This is me actually praising A'ja Wilson for, again, winning her second straight Defensive Player of the Year award. And it obviously, I'm not going to say it wasn't close, because to me it was a two-woman race between A'ja Wilson and Alyssa Thomas from Connecticut. But I'm not mad that you gave it to the person that leads the league in, I think, rebounds and blocks. Makes sense. Shouts out to all the people that are winning awards, all the women that made the WNBA first team and second team. Shouts out to you guys, yo. It definitely is well deserved. You guys have been, I'd said this is one of the best years than WNBA has seen in a while, because of just, I think the last time we saw a quote unquote super team in the WNBA was the Comet, when they had Cheryl Swoops and they had was it Tina Charles? Like, that was probably the last time we saw like a quote unquote super team. I think they won 4 straight. I know that there were some years that the Sparks were really good with Lisa Leslie and Candace Parker and Neka Abumake. I'm sorry. I know that there were a couple years. Hell, the Washington Mystics won it. The Washington Mystics won, I believe, in 2019. So, yeah. But this is the first time, I think, in the WNBA existence that we have 2 quote-unquote super teams, which is, of course, is the New York Liberty and the Vegas Aces. So that has kind of added excitement to this year. And on top of that, we've seen some incredible performances. Again, Alyssa Thomas has been great on the defensive side of the ball. I think that she broke the record for most double-doubles or most triple-doubles, I think, in WNBA history this year. Again, Breonna Stewart broke the record for most 40-point games. Satu Sabali, she improved incredibly and won this most improved player. And again, shouts out to her. Shouts out to Alicia Clark for winning 6th player of the year. And shouts out to A'ja Wilson, for winning this defensive player of the year, her second straight defensive player of the year, might I add. Oh man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.